From the PEP Radio Newsroom, we have this news about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. U.S. government attorneys say they have cleared all the hurdles needed to send Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Liberia and are asking a federal judge to dissolve an order blocking his deportation. Abrego Garcia's mistaken deportation to his home country of El Salvador earlier this year has helped galvanize opposition to President Donald Trump's immigration policies. His attorneys claim that the administration is now manipulating the immigration system to punish him for successfully challenging that deportation. A motion from the government filed in U.S. District Court in Maryland late on Friday says officials have received assurances from Liberia that Abrego Garcia would not face persecution or torture there. Further, it says an immigration officer heard Abrego Garcia's claims that he feared deportation to the West African nation, but ruled against him. His attorneys argue in a separate Friday filing that Abrego Garcia has already designated Costa Rica as a country where he is willing to be deported. They claim the government now must send him there. The fact that officials continue to pursue deportation to other countries is evidence that the process is retaliatory and violates due process protections, they argue. Abrego Garcia has an American wife and child and has lived in Maryland for years, but he immigrated to the United States illegally from El Salvador as a teenager. In 2019, an immigration judge granted him protection from being deported back to his home country, finding he faced danger there. But in March, he was deported to El Salvador anyway in what a government attorney later said was an administrative error. Facing pressure from the courts, the administration brought him back to the United States in June, but has since been pursuing his deportation to a third country. Much of Abrego Garcia's argument against his deportation to Liberia hinges on due process claims. The government tries to tear down those claims, arguing that his due process rights are not the same as a U.S. citizen's. Because he entered the country illegally, he should be treated the same as someone who just crossed the border, they argue. Meanwhile, his attorneys argue that aliens who have established connections in this country have greater due process rights than an alien at the threshold of initial entry, citing a 2020 U.S. Supreme Court case. That's what we know at this point. Reporting from the PEP Radio Newsroom, I'm David Moore.